Many communities across North America have identified remote workers as a key target in their resident attraction and economic development strategies. Remote workers are valued because they bring with them their own jobs and tend to be more mobile and easier to attract than brick-and-mortar businesses. Remote workers are often younger and interested in the higher quality of life and lower costs of living that a smaller center can provide. They also tend to have above-average disposable incomes to stimulate the local economy.
I love many aspects about my job being remote. So I'm a working mom. I work many hours during the week. I am a CPA for Xerox, based out of Webster, New York. Number one, I love the fact that my kids don't have to go to daycare anymore. I also love that I don't have to commute. So prior to working from home, I was commuting roughly an hour and 15 minutes each direction every day. Now I, like my kids, have a slower start to the day. We're not as rushed. We can kind of ease into the morning.
The benefits for working remotely for me, probably the freedom to be in a different environment than an office environment. Also probably the ability to, if I have something I need to take care of at home.
Being able to work remotely not only during the pandemic, but through some health challenges that I've had really made a difference, and having that fiber made it possible. During the pandemic, my daughter's whole class was quarantined for the full 14 days. And there's no way that we would have been able to manage that without being able to work remotely. Another reason I'm really grateful for Sheraton Valley Fiber in our family, again, speaks back to that family work-life balance. My husband works for a Department of Ag and uploads data every evening when he gets home. Previously, he was getting up sometime between midnight and 2 a.m. every night to start that data upload because we didn't have fast enough speed. Agriculture, as I'm sure you've talked about with other people, is just increasingly dependent on technology. It's just made a world of difference in terms of productivity.
In agriculture, remotely is very important today because there's a lot of decisions that are being made, a lot of purchases that are being made now online, and so having fast, reliable internet is very important.
Fiber has helped our communities immensely. Between people being able to work remotely, to students being able to handle school assignments, and adults are able to have their medical devices monitored by their doctors.
The high-speed broadband we've been installing across northern Missouri has helped all the communities, as in it gives opportunity for people to move back home, work from home, school from home, and even live in the rural areas and have access to the high-speed broadband that you have in the cities. Right now, when we started, I think we're around 20-30% of Marion County's covered. When we're done and our peers are all done, 100% of Marion County will have access to high-speed broadband. Rawls, I think, is actually closer to 100% now.
Another benefit to having fiber optic at our office in Palmyra is it acts as a hub for all of our other offices. We have 4 offices, and all of those offices communicate to our hub in Palmyra.
Many people today don't understand what package or speed they're limited to until there's a problem. With our 1 gig package, we're talking symmetrical services. So not only could you download large pictures, files, you can upload at the same speed. So the symmetrical speeds we offer is a game changer for people working from home, not only download but upload.
Ag is a big business. Being able to have real-time data, real-time information in a very timely fashion is very important. One of the greatest innovations I think that agriculture uses now is security. Being able to monitor things not only around their farms but in their livestock barns to better manage our livestock herds and manage our livestock operations that makes us more efficient and ultimately more profitable.
I would say that an additional positive about working remote is the savings in gas, especially now that gas has been, over $4 a gallon for part of the summer. That's been a really big benefit. Currently, right now, I'm making over $40,000 more a year working from home than I was spending time on the road, making a high car payment, driving 2 hours a day to my other job. So one huge added benefit has been just the ability to seek out work that is higher compensated.
We are located in a small community, and having a small community here has been great as far as the family is concerned. The smaller school, the teachers seem to be more interacting with their students in a smaller community. The cost of living is cheaper. everybody shows up at the football game on Friday night. Everybody in town is there.
Rawls County Electric supplies power to rural communities in the Northeast Missouri 5-county area, as well as our subsidiary Rawls Technologies supplies fiber optic broadband services. One of the distinct advantages of dealing with a local entity is that when you're calling our local cooperative versus calling a national company, is you're speaking to a local person who understands the local concerns that you have. The relationship that we have is a very personal relationship compared to some of the national corporations that are out there today.
There are so many different opportunities here. Sometimes you think in a smaller community there's not a lot to do, but I can tell you that there's not ever a weekend that we are able to fit in all the things we want to do in our family, just between festivals and sports, getting our daughter involved in all kinds of things from soccer to softball to dance and tumbling. Basically, whatever she wants to explore, there is an opportunity for it here.
So the good thing about living in Rawls County is that there is never really any lack of activity to do. My family and I try to frequent the lake as much as we can in the summertime. We love to go to Jellystone Park, and we also try to take in as many of the summer events in the small local Rawls County and Marion County towns as possible.
I would recommend remote workers move to this area. Number one, tons of industry. We have a lot of industry here. We have tons of jobs here because not everybody in the family necessarily works remotely. And we have fantastic school systems. I have a buddy of mine in the IT industry who works for a company in New York City, and he works right here in our local community. He has the ability to live here where there's not New York or Miami prices.
Just in my circle, I know an RN who works with telehealth and has daily conversations with surgery patients and works from home. I know a handful of people that work in direct sales, so of course they need reliable internet out of their house because of the presentations that they provide to potential customers. And then I also know of an individual who manages an aviation fleet for a local crop production company, which is pretty incredible that there's so many different types of remote work right here in Rawls County.
The housing, the cost of living around here is a lot more affordable than you would have in a larger community. I can even attest to that. Taxes are way cheaper here. The cost of doing business is cheaper.
I feel like my kids are safe here. I've lived in other communities where had I raised my children there, they wouldn't have been able to hop on their bicycles and ride to the park for an afternoon. And I can say with 100% certainty that I do not ever want to go back into an office again to work. I love the flexibility and just like the life, I guess, that remote work has given me.
I'm so thankful for Sheraton Valley and Rawls Tech both, really investing in this area and investing in putting that fiber in and making all these things that we've talked about possible for our area, both personally and professionally. It's made a huge difference in my life, and I'm very thankful for that.
And Rawls County Electric was one of the first electric co-ops in the United States to deploy fiber to 100% of its membership. Lewis Riggs, our state representative, has commented that Rawls County is the only rural county in the state of Missouri that actually saw population growth since the last census. And he contributes it largely to the access of broadband services and the availability of those services to our communities.
In Rawls and Marion County, there's a lot of century farms that have been in our counties or been in the family for over 100 years. Those farms have been in generations, and so therefore, again, family members that want to maintain those farms, maybe come back and live on those farms and carry on the legacy, have an opportunity now to come back and still maybe work remotely, but yet still enjoy the life that their ancestors did on their family farm.
With the current technology and internet speeds provided in Rawls and Marion County, it fosters a great environment to raise a family and work remotely. Come see what Rawls and Marion County have to offer by visiting the Hannibal Regional Economic Development website at www.hredc.com.